Hello boys and welcome to a new video, and this is something I mentioned on the stream today when I said that I would talk about what the roster issues look like, the so-called roster boss issues, summer attendance, summer recruiting, consumables, and why guilds are supposedly unable to find players and why it's so difficult to find a guild as a player. So before we go into things, I guess, in too much depth, let's look at something. And let me try to give you a bit of a backstory here. I had my warlock in a casual guild, friendly and whatever, but the raid leader and guild master decided that we would stop raiding. Nothing to do with summer or whatever. He just got pretty angry during our last Serpent Shrine run because things were not going the way he wanted them to go, and he just goes like, right, this is the end, and the rest of us didn't really have any say in it. So yeah, I found myself looking for a guild. As you're about to see, before I created the looking for guild post on the RAM Discord, I actually did go, I looked on Warcraft logs, I selected a couple of guilds that looked okay and were looking for a warlock, and I applied to them directly, but that didn't go anywhere. You'll see what I mean in a bit. So I eventually created this post and I said, I'm looking for a guild on my warlock. At the moment I raid as Affliction, but I can play Destro as well. And the ideal guild would clear tier 5, as in, Serpent Shrine and Tempest Keep, in one evening, specifying that although I can raid more, I'm trying to filter out certain types of guilds. As in, if you need 2 days to clear the current content, I'm not really interested in your guild. The ideal guild would also have a main raid plus an alt raid or 2 splits, and the reason for that is that I'm playing a warlock and a shadow priest. I treat them both as main characters, as it were. I gem them, enchant them, go to raids, try to do a good job, and so on. Uses soft reserve for the loot system, although I am willing to put up with loot council if the tier 5 clear time is under 3 hours. If it takes longer, I really don't require your opinion on anything, much less on loot distribution. Now, before we continue, I want to make this part clear. I know it may sound a bit elitist or toxic or whatever you want to call it, but it's actually not. And if you want to understand that, you need to look at today's raid on my priest, right? I went to a pug, SSC and TK, which you can see here, the report that is. And as you can see, Serpent Shrine took about 1 hour and a half, and then we had Tempest Keep in about 1 hour and 6 minutes. So overall, under 3 hours, 2 hours and 48 minutes, including travel time and sorting loot. Right? So under 3 hours. This was a pug. I have streamed it. You can find it on YouTube under live. You can see there were no wipes. I did get some parses, not a lot. I was working on improving my parses, which are also from pugs and from a previous guild. We'll get to that later. I managed to get 4 orange parses. I should make it clear I wasn't using destruction potions. I do not go that far with pugs. In a guild, it's a completely different story. That's where we pop potions and whatever, but in a pug, I feel like that would be stupid for me. Let me try to explain what I mean. So if we look, for example, at the damage done here and whatever, you can see we had players who were getting carried, players who were kind of meh, and whatever. And when that's what happens, I'm just not willing to pop 15g potions. That's it. I do go with a flask, with food buffs, with oil, but I am not going to also chug 100 gold worth of potions or 200 gold worth of potions for a pug that's basically hard carrying some people. Like, No, that's not something I'm willing to do. But again, to make it clear, crystal clear, this was a pug. Again, you're more than welcome to watch the live stream. It is right there on YouTube along with the commentary and whatever. And it took under 3 hours, right? So it's not that, oh my god, I am some super hardcore raider and whatever. This is not unusual. I'm basically saying I need a guild that can at least perform on a pug level. That's it. I'm not looking for, world first or whatever, just a guild that can perform as well as a pug. If that's too much to ask for, I don't know what to say, right? So that's what this really means. I don't want to hear about you going, oh yeah, loot council and whatever, if you're utter shit. It's that simple. You want to show me you're the leader and you have leadership qualities and you get to decide, well, show me what you've got, right? That's it. And I said, what I'm offering is high attendance, close to 100%, because, I do have a family, I do go on holidays, that sort of thing. That I've got full XP from Classic to Mists of Pandaria, that I don't die in fires, and that I can bring orange and pink parses in the right type of raid, right? What that means is that I'm not going to be parsing, you know, over 95 or whatever normally if I go with the pug, because again, I'm just not willing to pop potions and whatever. But at the same time, if you're the type of guild who brings good players and we don't have to carry half the raid, then I'm gonna do that, and then my parses are going to look, orange or pink. I think I need to underline this part. This is not empty boasting or whatever. If you look at my priest from back in the day, previous Wrath release, because I skipped Burning Crusade the last time around, you can see, it's not bullshit. I was actually doing just that wherever possible. It wasn't possible on Anubarak because the tactics we used did not allow that. Like, we had to pop frost potions, frost protection potions. We were not allowed to DPS the ads. Then they changed the rules for the ads, whether the damage done to them counted or not. Then whatever. At this point, I was still in a very casual guild, like very casual, in phase 1 with Nax and whatever. And PNICC again, orange, pink, whatever. Sindragosa was really difficult for me as a Shadow Priest because we were not allowed to keep casting and just rely on dispersion there. We were asked to stop casting, so good luck parsing with those rules. And with the Lich King, we never got to do it in one room. The tactics and the comp we were using, semi-casual, semi-hardcore guild, did not allow for higher parses. Even so, at the time I was the number 2 Shadow Priest on Lich King on the server, which was pretty good. Now, if you want to talk, dedicated pugs with people looking to parse, this is what my hunter looked in Cataclysm. I would say that is very good. This thing where it says number 17, it was actually number 2 in the world. It decayed later on when we stopped running it and people got better gear, but at some point it was number 2 in the world, right? Again, this isn't about boasting or anything like that. I just want to make it clear, crystal clear, that when I say I bring orange or pink parses in the right type of raid, I actually do that, right? And I said I've played in casual guilds this release, but that seems to be over, and I do have some 99s in my current logs. I was referring to the Warlock, obviously, but they're mostly trash, and that's a reflection of the environment, not of my, personal performance. I also clarified that I am not looking for speedrunning guilds, because I have done it in the past, and it's annoying. You have to carry a lot of stacks of drinks, drink walk, carry a bunch of trinkets that you wouldn't normally have with you, gnomish, whatever cloaking device, and constantly watch the cooldown on your bullshit engineering boots and so on, and I'm not into that. I'm sick of it. If I wanted that, I would just apply to Progress directly, and that would be it. The important part is this. If you're interested, DM me, send me, direct message, private message, whatever, with your latest main Warcraft logs report, as in not your alt raid, Let's see if you enjoy spouts or not. Like, I want to know what I'm getting into. This part is an edit where I decided to close the post because too many people were just brain damaged monkeys who couldn't follow simple instructions. So the first guy who interacted with me, if you want to call it that, he didn't understand the DM part. It was too complex for him, and he's like, we are in desperate need of a warlock. No, you're not. If you were, you would have read the message and you would have DM'd me, but you didn't. We have two, but they aren't super active. Good for you. You'd have, I suppose that's how we spell it, spot with us, link to the recruitment post. I literally don't give a shit about your post. And if you look at them, we use RC Loot Council, and we're reading over 2 days and whatever. Which part of that matches what I asked for? So you're not clearing in one evening, you're not using SR. But yeah, this guy didn't even read the message, he just posted his stupid bullshit. Another random guy, Peep, Parses in Pink are recruiting. Hey brother, drop me a DM. No, retard. You're the one who was supposed to DM me with your latest main Warcraft logs report. I don't give a shit about your recruitment post. This guy again. Just a link to the recruitment post. Some other retard. DM me if you're interested. No, I not interested. I interested only in people who can read a message and can actually use the direct message function. But these idiots aside, let's look at the rest of them. And we're going to start with this guy. This guy is from a guild I applied to directly. Because initially, before creating that recruitment post, that looking for guild post, I did go on Warcraft logs. I looked at which guilds were sort of okay and were recruiting a warlock and looked like they had an alt raid and so on. I applied, and he came and asked, are you set on playing Shadow as your art, or are you flexible? Sadly, I'm not that flexible because I've got a warlock, I've got a shadow priest, and I've got a rogue, with the rogue being pretty much naked. You've seen it on livestream, I suppose, farming mana tombs. I've got level 60 gear and whatever. So it's not about flexibility, it's like I only have the warlock and the shadow priests that are geared, and I'm not about to level another warlock just so I can join a guild, right? He unfortunately had to decline the application. Thank you for putting in effort into a good application. Best of luck. I'm not upset with this guy. I perfectly understand that a more serious guild wants you to play two characters of the same class, so there are no issues when you're switching between mains and alts. Sadly, I did not do that. Perhaps it was a mistake, perhaps not, but this didn't go anywhere. And of course, I got the application declined. Too bad, so sad. This was another guy I spoke with, and we went through the logs, why my logs didn't look as good as they could have, and so on. But suddenly the conversation kind of died. Maybe he changed his mind, maybe whatever. I don't know, I can't possibly guess, but it didn't go anywhere. Again, too bad, so sad. This guy, this is a problem on European realms. You probably don't have this issue on American realms or Australian realms or whatever. But he's like, hey, where you're from? And I'm like, hey, I'm originally from Romania, but I've been living in the UK for a long time. Ah, okay, we search for German speak. I actually went to school. I know it's difficult to believe, but I did go to school. And, because it was school, we were actually forced to study German, French, Spanish. So I do speak a bit of German. I understand a lot of German, but, they don't want non-natives. So what can you say? Jawohl, my Führer, whatever. Goodbye. This guy goes like, Shield Maidens, never heard of you. Are recruiting, we are a tight-knit guild, blah 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 blah. We're looking to add a warlock to our ranks. Semi-hardcore. We push content, get bosses down, we keep the atmosphere fun. Raid times, 2 raid days, because reading that I want 1 raid day for tier 5 is just too difficult. Current loot council, not what I asked for. What we want, a reliable raiders, because we can't speak English, so whatever. No link to their report or anything. This guy didn't bother, he just used cut and paste for his message, and whatever, maybe if you throw enough shit around, maybe it will stick, I suppose. This guy looked okay, but we got to discuss whether I would be getting a shaman in my group if I joined his guild. And the answer was that the affliction lock, because they wanted me to play affliction, would be in this kind of group, so no totem. I think he was put off by my question, so the conversation kind of died, right? Although it showed a shaman here, so I assumed it would be Wrath of Air in the group. Like I said, the conversation just died, he never got back to me, so yeah, too bad, so sad. Let me try to explain that if I can. So, if you look at this, for example, the lurker below, I got a 98 today, right? But when I went there with my previous guild, these guys, Midnight, it was an 88. I wasn't playing it worse or anything, but I did not have a shaman in my group. You can see that they had 3 shamans. This guy, this other shadow priest, he was getting a shaman in his group, so he was getting the 101 spell power and mana spring and whatever. I was not. So that's why I was asking about whether I would be getting a shaman in the group, just to know what I'm supposed to expect. Would I ever be able to get a good parse, or 3 months into it, it would still look like I'm the worst player in the world? But again, he seemed to be put off by my question, so yeah, that was the end of that conversation. This guy, as you can see, no link to a report or anything. Hey, are you still looking for a guild? We've been around for 20 plus years. Good for you, my boy. Recruiting for our Sunday team at 18 server time. Let's be clear, when he says Sunday team, he means semi-pug run, which they're trying to fill to be a full guild group. They do have a full guild group on Thursdays, but I would likely be assigned to their Sunday team, which basically means we need another B team player. And, from that point of view, my question is, when you look at this shit, when you look at this, do I look like I'm looking for a guild that thinks I'm a B team player? Where's the fucking report I asked for? Yeah. That is the kind of message I'd get, right? This guy, hey, did you find a home yet? If not, here is our logs. You know what? Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look at their log? What do you guys think about this log? A lot of gray, a lot of green. Looks pretty artistic, doesn't it? Yeah, you kind of have to like it. 3 hours and a half for Serpent Shrine and Tempest Keep. As far as I can tell, like 5:27 to 8:57. Yeah, that's about 3 hours and a half. Wiping on KT, wiping on Solarian, which is, I don't know how you managed to do that, but okay. Wiping on Void River, also known as Loot River. Wiping on Karatres. Yeah. I don't know what you think this is, brother, but it's... no. Just no. We have 3 solid runs. In short, someone else looking to fill teams B and C. Now, the conversation with this guy went really well. I must say I respect this person quite a bit for what he did, because he read my recruitment post and he replied with the stuff I was interested in. He even got back and said, I realized I didn't send you the latest log, so here it is. It didn't look particularly great, but you know, we had some problems and we were with 25 men and whatever. Then he was really honest about their problems, that they lost their affliction lock and the raid leader and one of their mates and so on. And I said, you know, it's not a problem. Like, okay, those are some problems, but they wouldn't put me off from joining a guild. But here's the problem. Lastly, as mentioned, we are running SR ×2 for loot distribution, mostly because no one wanted to take on Loot Council workload, with, as mentioned, some items being strictly Loot Counciled each phase to ensure that they go to the right player. In your case, that would be Vestments and Fang of the Leviathan plus Vortexes for Belt. Loot rules. Trials set to 2 weeks. Trials cannot SR during this period. You can roll for non-SR items, which is basically trash nobody wants. We also do have a bad luck protection, so we can HR loot if we notice certain people are notoriously unlucky with rolls or SRs not dropping at all to even out loot distribution. And this, unfortunately, was a deal breaker for me. And let me try to explain this stuff. If you watched the stream earlier today, that 2 hours and 40 minutes raid clearing Serpent Shrine and Tempest Keep, I actually had Vestments soft rest. The item didn't drop, so I didn't get it, obviously. But I was able to soft rest it, and that was just a random pug I joined like out of nowhere. So what I'm trying to convey with this is like, bro, the loot distribution system you're talking about is not SR at all if Loot Council comes in, despite the fact that no one wanted to take on Loot Council workload. And how the hell does that work? Like, this part, right? We have bad luck protection, so we can HR loot if we notice people are notoriously unlucky with rolls or SRs not dropping. Like, that's not SR at all. Because, like, imagine, you know, you're soft dressing Vestments, like I said, and it's something I've done today. But then you've got maybe a 10% chance of that item dropping, if even that. Then you're probably going to have to roll against 6 other people, right? Maybe it's your lucky day, because every dog gets a lucky day, right? The item drops and you roll 100. And that's when this thing kicks in. Actually, you're not going to be getting it, even though it dropped and you had it SR'd and you won the roll, because bad luck protection and we're doing Loot Council on it. Like, okay, that's not soft dress at all. That's just blatant cheating. Again, nothing personal against this person. Huge respect for the fact that he read the recruitment message, he replied with what I asked him to reply, and so on. But this is not SR, and this trials can't SR? Brother, why would I join you then? Again, I'm not upset. Huge respect for the conversation we've had, but why the fuck would I join you? Consider this again. This raid where I was on my Shadow Priest, obviously, this raid, took 2 hours and 48 minutes to clear everything, 0 wipes, and I was able to SR everything I wanted to SR. They didn't drop or I didn't win the role, that's beyond the point. The point is, why would I join your guild? So you can tell me that for 2 weeks I can't SR anything, and then after the trial and whatever, you're doing so-called loot council for the two of the best items plus vortexes for the belt. Like, bro, this is worse than the most greedy pug I've ever seen. Again, nothing against this person, nothing against the guild, but if these are the rules you go by, best of luck with other people, because yeah, this was a deal breaker for me. Then we've got this guy, presumably ADHD kicked in. He goes like, of course, no DM with the report or whatever. Yo, brother, you're still looking for a guild? And I said, hey, at this time, yes, because at that time I was still looking. And he never replied. Ben, my man, I hope you're okay. I hope nothing happened to you. Next, we've got what appears to be a retarded cunt. And this guy goes, we have expanded to 3 25-man raids a week, and is therefore, presumably the guild is therefore looking for a few more members. You 3, I don't know which us 3 he's referring to, presumably he just pasted this from a message sent to some group who was applying, or I don't actually know, would be an amazing match. We clear SSC plus TK in 3 hours at the moment. So he gave me a link to the Discord. I had to look up the reports on Warcraft logs because, of course, he couldn't DM with a link to the report. That was too complicated for his brain. I said, okay, I'm looking for a guild using SR where I could join 2 runs. One as Warlock, one as SP, and I want to clear them on the same day because I just don't want to raid 4 days a week. It's not that I can't, it's that I don't want to. Is that the case with your guild? If so, I'm interested. And I said I opened that verification ticket, some Discord bullshit. And he's like, we don't do SR runs. Everything is handled with loot council, taking average beast loot per raid into consideration while we hand out stuff. Okay, you know what? I really didn't like the tone of this message, so I just stopped responding. Like, you know, take your handicap, your disability, and fuck off. This guy actually DM'd with a link to their report, and he's like, we're currently looking to possibly add Affliction Warlock, so possibly, not a certainty. We are LC Guild though, and we don't have an alt raid set up, but we are looking to add one soon. At the moment, we clear SSC plus TK in about 3.5 hours. Yeah, that is 1 hour slower than a pug, so unfortunately I do not want to hear about loot council from people who are worse than pugs. Sorry. Then this guy goes, Base series recruiting for one of our raids, clearing in 1 day on all of our raids. Like, okay, where is your Warcraft log links, bro? Anything on the alt raid? Because I did mention I wanted that, something like that. No response after that. This guy is actually from my previous guild. I'm not going to say too much about it. It was that Midnight Guild I mentioned, where I was never getting the Wrath of Air Totem, and I could never parse, and I could not SR vortexes, nor patterns, nor the Ashes of Alar, because those were only for veteran players. And at some point it's like, you know what, if that's how you see people, like everyone who's not a so-called veteran is pretty much a raid spot filler and nothing more, then sorry, but it's not for me. Have fun. Then we've got another guy here. He's like, we're running a semi-guild run on Wednesday with some regulars, and I'm glad you're looking, For more people, right, for whatever reason, WoW was running in the background and I got logged out and that music kicked in and I had to stop it. So anyway, this guy goes like, we're looking to fill in a semi-guild run. Like, did it sound like I'm looking for a semi-guild run for a pug? Clears time, clearing raids 3 times a week. Nothing about the loot system, nothing about anything else, no report or anything like that because we don't bother with that sort of stuff, but it's okay. We can see anything we need to see here, and what we can see here is 3 hours and 28 minutes to clear with a bunch of wipes. Again, this is actually worse than a bug, and I think I showed that earlier. Then we got this guy. Hey man, I don't know if you have found a guild, but we might be in the market for an affliction warlock. Might be? Does it sound like I care about what might be? I'm interested in whether you need me or not. That's it. Last phase we ended on top 20 speed kills on all bosses. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're able to speedrun Karazhan. I hope you got really good loot. Hopefully Malkazin drops only. Because I did mention that I don't actually need a speedrunning guild and I'm not looking for one. If I happened to be interested in one, I would just apply to progress and that would be the end of it. I didn't even respond to him because he clearly did not take the time to read my message. Then we've got this guy. Hey mate, you are welcome to join our guild. We are casual but skilled, semi-heroine probably raiding guild. Raiding Mondays and Thursdays. That's good for you that you need to raid days for content that could be cleared by a drunken monkey. Good vibes and fun raids. At the moment, we're not clearing both the same day, which was one of my requirements. Well, another requirement was to DM me with a report, which he couldn't be fucked to do. So, yeah, you can't be fucked to read my message, I can't be fucked to respond to yours. Best of luck. Then we've got this guy, Shambolic. Hey, so you're looking for a guild. We're super relaxed and friendly. I wonder if I can get them to come over, clean the house, and maybe mow the lawn, since they're so friendly. Mainly from the UK, focused on whatever. We run SR loot for raids twice a week because, again, content is hard. And here's a link to their recruitment post that I don't give a shit about. Again, clearly someone who couldn't be fucked to read my message, so no point in replying to him. Then we've got this guy. Question. Are you still looking for a social raiding guild? What do you mean still? Did I say that I was looking for a social raiding guild? Like, where? Mostly dead gamers. My man, I too have had sex. I too have children. I did not realize that this was something that played into this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Apparently, they're called Pumper Squad. I've not even looked at their logs, to be perfectly honest. I don't know which part of this possibly suggested to him that I am looking for a social guild. Let's see. Pumper Squad. Presumably there is some report here. SSC and TK. TK where, so to speak? I'm not really seeing TK in here. Am I missing something? Because so far, it kind of looks like 2 hours and a half, a bit over 2 hours and a half for Sandburn Shrine, wiping on Leo, wiping quite a bit on Karatres, no TK. I don't know why this is called SSC and TK. Let's see, this is a pump boss. There is no pumping going on here. None whatsoever. Let's see if there's another TK run, maybe? It says SSC, I know, but first TK run. Right. Let's see Loot River where everyone can parse. I think you need to change the name of your guild, brother. I'm just saying perhaps you can find a better, more appropriate name for your guild. Thanks for not DMing me with a report. Thanks for not reading my recruitment message. I do not think you're retarded at all. Oh, this one is funny, but it requires a bit of a backstory. See, this message is here from February, right? Thursday, 5th of February. This was the TBC launch night. And I had found a group, two mages, myself a warlock, I think, or a mage and a warrior, I can't quite remember right now. And we agreed that we were going to run instances from level 60 to level 70 with just a 15 minutes delay, so we could turn in quests at launch and just go and start pumping in instances. And this was obviously done, or it was supposed to be done rather, in order to skip the outdoor PvP nonsense and layering and whatever. We just wanted to hit level 70, supposedly. So I almost hit level 61 from delivering quests in those 15 minutes with careful use of portals and Hearthstone and whatever. And one level later, at level 62, they were like, I'm tired. Actually, this team is not fast enough. It's better with 3 mages. And they pretty much disbanded the team, and good luck, everyone. And I was left with a PvE spec, looking for a team. Obviously, every normal team was already full and going strong. And I was left questing outdoors. Like, good luck, fend for yourself, bye-bye. And initially he said hello, and I think after he said hello, he realized we had spoken before, and he's like, we played together the release. No, brother. What you're trying to say is that you let me down on release. That I actually had to quest from 62 to 70 after we agreed that we were going to run from 60 to 70 the entire night. I got a raid spot for you. The guild I'm in is desperate for warlocks. Yes, this word desperate, I've seen it before. Unfortunately, when you fuck me once, you're not getting a chance to fuck me again. Have fun. This guy, we actually had a decent conversation and whatever. And I did not join his guild just because I was chatting to a different guild, the one I ended up joining. But he had the common sense of actually reading what I was writing, so huge respect to you, my guy. The same can be said for this guy. He unfortunately DM'd me a bit too late after I had already closed the post, because I had already joined the guild. But again, huge respect, short message, report included, what sort of raids they're running and so on. GG. Again, huge respect, my man. Then we've got another retard, or as he calls himself, Rage. Hey, if you haven't found a guild yet, I'm recruiting an athlete for our raid 1, starting up raid 2 as well, because we had 2 raids last classic from start to finish. Link to a recruitment post. Did I ask for a link to a recruitment post? All I asked was DM me with your latest Warcraft logs report. No such thing here. But you know what? Let's take a look at it. Volatile, apparently. Volatile. There's bound to be some report here. Wow, you're running Karan. Impressive. T5. Right. Wiping on Void River and on Alar. That is truly impressive. You know what? Let's see the damage on Void River. Actually, they do have a few people parsing. Nowhere near me, mind you. So let's make that crystal clear on Void River. On Void River, when I went there, I did hit a 99. It shows as a 97 now, but it was a 99 on that day. Again, the guy did not read my message. He just posted the link to their recruitment post. Like, yeah, you can't be fucked to read my message. I can't be fucked to respond to you. Too bad, so sad. These three guys are from the guild I ended up joining, and this is a guy from the pug I joined today. I don't really know what he wanted. I just got a message after the run had ended. Who is it? And I'm like, who is what? I don't know what he wanted. So this is where our conversation ended. Um, yeah, my warlock parses look bad, and they are bad indeed. But again, that was because I was playing in a very casual guild. That means people were not even trying to parse. People were dying left and right all over the place. Power, tactics, group comp, they had nothing to do with parsing. But like I told people, you could find a 99, an orange, or a pink parse if you really looked for one, right? I know it's Kara, whatever, but 99s are 99s, whatever. With Gruul, that was not the case for me. 98 was the best I got. Again, casual guild, whatever. Point being, I wasn't bragging, lying about being able to parse and so on. It's just how things were. Right, so let's get to the point. You know how players are supposedly quitting TBC? That is what everyone's saying. And everyone's blaming a few things. One of them is the high cost of consumables. Now, that's partially true, but that's got fuck all to do with it. That's not why you're not getting recruits, and that's not why people are not showing to the raids. Summer, which is coming, has nothing to do with it either, because you're talking about one raid night a week. Like, who the hell does not have the ability to raid once a week, brother? Give me a break with your 7 children and 3 jobs and whatever. That's totally not what's going on. What is going on, though, is the fact that this is what you're dealing with when you try to find a guild. 9 out of 10 people are not even going to read what you're looking for. They don't actually give a shit about what you're looking for. They're just spamming with their nonsense. The ones who respond to you are in guilds that have rules, loot rules, that are beyond unfair. They're just blatant cheating from my point of view. Like, you're telling someone they're not going to be able to even soft dress stuff for a month. Like, sorry, what? Are you insane? In 1 month, with a bit of luck in pugs, you would be full biz. What the hell are you talking about? Like, if that's the case, why would I join your guild? Because again, as you could see, I can just go to a pug, clear the whole bloody thing in less than it takes your hardcore guild to clear it. I can soft dress whatever I want, so why would I join your guild? Do you understand? Guys, for real, I'm now addressing anyone who's an officer, guild leader, raid leader, whatever. Do you guys understand that this is a two-way street? I give you my time, my experience with this sort of stuff, my performance, whatever that may look like, and you're supposed to give me something in return. But the attitude that players are getting from these, officers, raid leaders, whatever, is like, we're doing you a favor by even taking you in. We'll talk about what sort of loot you might be getting 2 months from now, 1 month from now. And actually, it's going to our veteran players first because that's fair and whatever. Okay, best of luck. Best of luck with that attitude. It may have worked 20 years ago, it's no longer working. I would rather go to these pugs than join your guild if that's the case. If it's a one-way street, you go ahead and walk down that street, I'm fine. It's not the cost of consumables. It's not the fact that summer is coming. It's not the fact that people are suddenly tired of TBC for the third time and whatever. I assure you, people are just waiting for Wrath and I don't know, Black Temple, even Hyjal, which sucks, and Sunwell and whatever. They just don't want anything to do with your guilds because your officers, the people who are in charge of recruitment, are like this. They can't read a message, they can't DM with what's being asked of them. They think that they get to decide who gets what and when, and so on. And when potential recruits see this, they're like, okay, you keep your rules, I'll just go to a pug, think I'm better off that way. That is what the so-called summer exhaustion and roster boss and consumables and whatever is all about. Because you are indeed asking people to spend potentially 500 gold on consumables, you know, a couple of flasks, 10 or 15 or 20 destruction potions if you don't wipe, food, oil, maybe repairs. Why the fuck would I spend 500 gold on a raid with you? Honestly, why? When I can go to a pug, basically half AFK, still get a few parses here and there. Nothing fancy, but you know, some whatever orange parses, not necessarily pink. Why would I join you? What's in it for me? No one is asking themselves like, what do we actually have to offer? Everyone's like, let's see how we can take advantage of this guy and for how long. That's it. That's what's going on. It was never about summer. It was never about people growing tired of TBC. It was never about the cost of consumables. It's about stupid fucking cunts. Yeah, that's it. There's your answer. That is God's honest truth, and I hope you found it useful. That's really all I have to say on the subject. Sorry if any of you guys feel like, you know, I shouldn't have named you, I shouldn't have shown your messages, but in all honesty, go fuck yourselves. As for the viewers, yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what your experience has been like if you want to take the time to do that. And yeah, see you around, possibly on one of the live streams, possibly in the comments, whatever you fancy. See you next time, guys.